We're going. And hello, everyone, and welcome to Cloud Gaming Extreme. And myself and Barry are here to talk you through what has gone on and things like that. So here we go.
Excellent.
Folks.
You froze for a minute then. I thought I got worried then. I thought, come on, our first stream. Surely you're not going to leave me on my own.
No. But what I'm going to do for the first time.
Go.
Doing that for the first time.
There you go. So, hey, look at that.
Yeah, buttons and everything pressed. So, hello everyone, and thanks for joining. And yeah, this is a bit different from what we were sort of expecting here, and we weren't if you asked us this time last week, we would not be thinking we were going to be sitting here doing this. We are going to talk through bits and bobs, and if you've got any questions at all, Cloud Gaming or plans for the future here, we are more than happy to go through them. So I'm Duncan. Some people may know me, but Barry, I'll let you introduce yourself first. I'll put you under the gun.
Excellent, thank you. I'm Barry, or some of you may know me as Paramedic Games. So I've been with Cloudy for just over 2 years now, kind of doing game reviews and content creation, play-alongs, and all that sort of good stuff. In terms of kind of gaming habits, I game across a multitude of platforms, so across the cloud, PC as well, xCloud, Geforce now. I've got PlayStation Now, all those sorts of stuff. So there's a good variety to kind of what I like to game in, and I'm sure that now that we are a Cloud Gaming Extreme, that's only going to expand, because I know we talk about Luna coming to the UK and that sort of stuff, and we want to get that done. But of course, we've got Boosteroid and that sort of thing to look at as well. I think that just about covers it for me, but I'll hand it back to you so that you can do your intro. I know people know who you are because you've been around the block. No. You've been here, but you know.
Yeah. I'm Duncan One to Escape on Twitter, where people shout at me constantly. And I've been Cloud Gaming back from the OnLive days. Been with Stadia Source and then started up Cloudy, and then been playing across all different platforms as well. Presently, I play on GFN, PlayStation Now, Xbox, but the Stadia as well. Just basically anything I can get my hands onto, I am playing. But I'm going to be venturing out and getting some more stuff so we can bring you more content down the line. So it's going to be fun, and we're excited about this. And again, I think it's not right. We need to say thanks to ASMR Chief, Hell Monkey, and Jerry, also known as Game Tech Planet, for letting us continue Cloud Gaming Extreme, and we are going to be trying to keep up what they have been doing before now.
Yeah, absolutely. I know kind of behind the scenes sort of conversations have been going back and forth. Ultimately the team of people that you just mentioned there have done an absolutely fantastic job in bringing kind of members, subscribers, all that sort of exciting content. And I guess, as we go through some of what we're covering, that's not going to disappear. It's obviously we're just in that place now where we're going to pick up that mantle, and we're going to keep that sort of thing, keep that thing going, enjoy ourselves, and keep bringing great content as well.
Yeah, we'll stick all the questions in there. Eddie, I see your question. Golden Sun, we see yours as well. So basically, I'm just going to tell you the time scale of things here. He sent a message to me late Sunday night. I didn't see it till Monday morning, and this is this week. Things have just taken off from there, so we've got still a lot of things up in the air, and we are going to be just trying to to maintain what is going here and then expand out a bit more and put our own bits and bobs onto things. So I just want to relieve anybody's fears. News videos will continue, comparisons will continue, pushing the boundaries of cloud gaming will continue. We're already trying something out, and which Barry doesn't even know about yet. We've already got a plate in the air in regards to that, and it's so much to come here. I know there is a lot of people out there who think, from our experience with Cloudy, that we hate Stadia. That is far from the case. And just to relieve anybody's fears in regards to Stadia coverage, there will be Stadia coverage coming. We've also got someone who hasn't been announced yet, who is a big Stadia fan, who will be doing content on here as well as the time in the coming weeks and months to come. So don't be worrying about that. If you want fair, impartial sort of stuff, we will be doing that. And we've got an announcement about Stadia coming later as well. So if there's any other things, we'll start. We'll have a bit of a yarn.
Absolutely, it's a good way to kick it off, and then we can say hello to the lovely people in chat and kind of cover, I guess, some of the questions and have a general yarn while we're here.
Yeah, Kamaris, thank you for joining. Golden Sun has got a question. I've actually investigated this. Don't be worried. Don't be worrying. We'll come back to that question in a second. Mr. Gamer, thank you for joining. Eddie, thank you for joining. Cloud Validation, thank you for joining. Oh, sorry, Ray, thank you for joining as well. Thank you as well. Okay. See, again, everything is, we're just getting used to all this. Again, this just has happened so quickly that we weren't expecting all this to just to happen, and it's going to be fun. One thing I do want to say in regards to the comparisons, this has came at an interesting time for us. Some of us are based over in the UK. It's bank holiday because of the Queen's Jubilee, and we are off work and we've got some plans and stuff. So we were definitely not expecting this. So everything's going to really kick off from next week. But the news video is coming out later. It's probably going to be tomorrow. The normal GFM video will go and the recap video will be released. Still happen, but other sort of content will be coming in the coming weeks. But we will kick this off. If I can find this, I've actually got the thing here and I've lost it now. Here's it here. That question is about a preset PC, and that is a Kickstarter. So yeah, I told you I did research here and all. Kickstarter, basically having a supercomputer in the cloud. What is our opinion on that? I'm going to be frank with you. I just found out about this since she asked the question, and it's a Kickstarter. I always have my doubts about Kickstarter, and only back it if you are going to, if you don't mind losing your money. That's my philosophy with Kickstarters. But what we will do, since you have asked a question, we will reach out to them to try and get some more information and see what we can do there. Is there anything you want to say about Kickstarters?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that sounds like a perfect plan to try and reach out and get more info, which would be good. But I guess, yeah, it is effectively, it's a little bit like an investment or a share in stock. It might not necessarily come to fruition. It is kind of bearing that in mind. But it's one of those things, as more info comes out, you can then kind of start to really digest and understand, whether a product's got legs. So I'll be intrigued to see when they come back to us exactly what's cooking there, shall we say.
Yeah, we're going to see more and more of these Kickstarters and cloud solutions in the sky as the tech becomes more and more available out there for people. And with Google doing it, we've got Amazon doing it. They're going to be trying to push their white labeling sort of stuff out there to just try and get more people to use it. We're going to just see more and more of these. So playing on PC is probably one of your safest options. I remember this is just going to be a PC in the sky, basically, so you can get access to Steam and Epic in your games library that way. But yeah, it looks dead on. We will reach out and find out a bit more on this. The prices in the Kickstarter there don't actually start seem that bad, and it starts at $5, and you can get beta access. For $10 beta access, and you get additional storage. By the sounds of it, it's just like it's just Shadow.
I was going to say, looking at kind of how the that video was running in the background, all that sort of stuff, it does look very Shadow-esque, certainly. And yeah, as you said, price that $5 to get access to beta is really reasonable. So you can at least get stuck in, give it a try, and see how well it performs.
Yeah, and as we see there, it's AWS, so it's using Amazon cloud. So yeah, it's going to be safe enough. Again, it's for that sort of price, it's a couple of cups of coffee. And
yeah, exactly. And I think his Golden Sun there, he said he'd take the risk. So. And you can see why at kind of some of those bandings you absolutely would, as you put it, a cup of coffee, off you go.
Yeah, so we'll reach out to them to have it. We'll try and get an interview or something with them just to see what that is, what's going on there, and yeah, I think even we're getting into the dear ones here, $25, and it's 1 month of the GTX 1080. And the 3070's 35. That's comparable to Shadow. And so yeah, it's the market rate by the looks of it. So yeah, you can give it a try.
Delonte. Where are we?
Okay.
Where are we next? What was their next question in our list? I think it might have been Eddie's actually.
Hey, what will happen to the Cloudy channel? I will tell you now, I haven't a Scooby-Doo. What is going to happen to the Cloudy channel? Because, again, this has just came so quickly. And we couldn't say no to this. And so we are going to just concentrate on here. What I can tell you, we are streaming the Xbox conference on Cloudy next week. So if you want to see that, we are streaming that on Cloudy. But at this moment in time, we're not 100% sure what's happening. I've got some ideas, but we're going to have to just see what all happens down the line. Barry, you can answer this question. Are there any games?
As far as I'm aware, sorry, carry on.
I was just reading like the question first.
That's all right. You know what I'm like? I was right in there. I was ready to get right in with the answer. To the best of my knowledge, as far as I am aware, we've got Fortnite, which does not require the sub. Is that correct? I don't think there's anything else at the moment.
There's nothing else. Yeah. We've seen the xCloud news of the day yesterday. And it was a bit light, if we're going to be honest with it. The Game Pass announcements were a bit light. There was only a couple of games coming, but the games coming are absolutely brilliant. Assassin's Creed Origins is going to xCloud, and that should be running at 60 FPS because we know you're using to serve the Series X blade, so that should run really, really well on there. But do you think we're going to get any free-to-play game announcements next week at the Xbox conference?
I mean, I think it's logical that kind of a week before a conference, news might be a little bit light. But I think it would make sense for them to head that way with free-to-play and make sure that it's not locked behind a sub, just to give people some options in that respect.
Yeah, Fall Guys, do you think possibly could go that way as well?
Possibly. I know there was been talk for a long time about that going to Game Pass, and obviously now it's going free to play. Who knows? It could be a likely candidate, and I don't think it would be a bad candidate either, because it's good for one to to dip in and kind of dip out in that sense. And I personally, in my time with Fall Guys, I found that it was actually quite addictive. Once I kind of got in there and I was playing it, it kind of got its hooked into me a little bit, and then I went through this period where I felt like I was almost addicted to playing it.
Yeah. So here's the games which are going to Game Pass in the next wee while, and it's Assassin's Creed Origins, For Honor, Marching Fire, Chorus, Disc Room, Ninja Garden, and I had that Space Lines from whatever, and we can see 4 of them are going to Cloud and 2 of them aren't. We've seen now the last couple of weeks with what game was it? Sniper Elite wasn't necessarily going to Clyde, and it goes to Clyde. I always take with no Clyde there with a pinch of salt, because I think chances are it does go. But these games coming to xCloud in the next couple of weeks are pretty good. And again, it's shifted because of the Xbox conference, and as we're come to expect now, we're going to get some shadow drops on the Game Pass that day.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that coming a mile off. I think you touched on Origins earlier. I think that's a great addition, as is Chorus. The fact that that's coming into Game Pass, going into the cloud as well, because that's kind of been out for a little while, but it's a nice addition, and it's a good looking game. It's good fun to play. I know we've both played. I don't think we both completed Chorus, but I know we both spent time with it, and it was an enjoyable experience, and it looked good and it plays well in the cloud, so there's no reason why it shouldn't on there either.
And one thing about Chorus as well is it does have ray tracing, so it's one of the few games on xCloud which will have some ray tracing, so that is pretty cool. So where are we down to here? Andy, or no, Eddie, it's not Andy. I can guarantee you it is not Andy. So you don't have to worry there. Thanks, Kelly, for watching. But we're competing with Johnny Depp. What can we do here?
It's all right. He's in the UK, so we're all good.
Polaris, thank you very much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it, and really like you being here. Thank you so much. And yes, and Kelly is the leader. We I think we were all agreeing that Kelly is the leader.
It's not even like there's no cloak and dagger. It's as transparent as you like. You can see it.
Yeah. I have to multitask here. I'm not good at this multitasking. Carry on. Virtue 1 Kickstarter. This is another one. Is a game in Stream Anywhere. That is pretty cool looking. I didn't see anything about that at all.
A couple of, the odd couple of Kickstarter just seems to just about miss you by, doesn't it? If you're,
yeah.
So I think that's in general. I think that's a good thing for cloud, though. If you look at the fact that you are, yes, okay, we were talking about what we were saying earlier with regards to to Kickstarter, but if you look at the fact that there are Kickstarters kicking in, they're giving different options. There's seemingly either games coming to cloud services, cloud PC. There's a lot more, there is a lot more that's coming through, and I think that's a positive for for cloud as a space, really.
Yeah, and the more people they embrace it, it just gets it further out there, and more people come more and more accepting of it, and it just pushes the boundaries here. I have to say that does look cool. Why didn't I see this before now? It would have been a new gadget for me.
Well, it would, and we all know you love your gadgets.
Yeah, but I don't know how I would wear them. But that does look.
Figure that out.
That does look really, really cool, and I wish I seen a bit earlier. Yeah, absolutely amazing with the Steam Deck as well. But that just looks class.
go. You'd be in your element, wouldn't you?
Would we be in the element? I'd
A
be
new
there
gadget,
playing.
Steam Deck, off you go.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. Gamer Martin, we've answered your question. Hi, Ron. Thank you for joining.
Indeed, I'm sure I did.
What?
Good evening, Ace. Thanks for jumping in.
Thank you. Yes, thanks for jumping in. We're just continuing your mantle here, just going through a Q&A and just going over everything. Let me see here. The big negative for me with xCloud is Game Pass games only. When the games go off Game Pass, you can't play it on xCloud even if you buy it. Yeah, that is the big, massive downside of xCloud at this moment in time. We do know that buying games is coming. It's just a matter of when it is coming. And we just need to get that sorted so we can go and buy the Xbox games and just play them as we want in the cloud as
100%. I mean, I think that that's it. We were talking about this the other day, weren't we, about kind of obviously some conversations surrounding the stick, and then possible conversations around actually maybe focus being on the TV app when we were talking on Cloudwalkers. And obviously that kind of thing, when you start getting into that territory of having the app on the TV or having a streaming stick, you can probably see logically at that point you may well kind of have the purchasing option for purchasing games in the cloud, because you might just be on the stick. At that point it may well then alleviate that that big downside that they've got in that respect.
Yeah. We've seen news today. Haven't actually watched the whole YouTube channel. It does look like they're going to be pushing the app rather than the stick. So you get the app out there, you get that running well. You can just bung that on anything at all.
I'll be honest, for me that makes sense, because although you have got to work with the TV manufacturers, from that perspective, you are going to have a talent pool of people who will have the ability to put resource into making that app a realistic possibility. Development phases might be quicker, which means that you can maybe get it to market in a slightly quicker turnaround time than you would by producing hardware. And then obviously if you look at hardware, of course, you've got production costs and all that sort of stuff to get the stick together. So there is definitely a benefit to being able to do it in the app for sure.
The only positive, if they actually did make it a physical sort of device, we've seen this with Stadia, with the Chromecast and the controller. It is all tailored perfectly for that, and you don't have to worry having different specs of devices. I do hope that they actually do bring out an actual device as well, just so you can have the hardwired sort of full scope of it in there.
Yeah, and I think it would be nice. I think it would be good to see them kind of, if they go down that route, maybe include some of the abilities with, maybe your Netflix stuff or your Disney Plus or, your Xbox movies, where you can rent a film, purchase a film, that sort of thing. Make it all encompassing in that respect.
Yeah. We are moving into that sort of territory where everything is just going to be all together, where that goes from one way. It just all links into one. You just jump between all the different devices or different services on the one thing. The apps on TVs and stuff. But again, I just want the one where you can just have it all so it runs perfectly. But yeah, it's just real exciting and with Xbox at this moment in time, and we've seen them with all their hires they're doing for their cloud games. It's just absolutely class to see that they are pushing out the updates, or not updates, they're making games for the cloud. And my big prediction next week is we're going to see the first taste of what's available in the cloud. I think they're going to give us a sneak peek at their E3 presentation moving, even though it's not E3, just to show us what is going to happen in the cloud in the years to come. That's my big prediction. I think it's going to be a tease. I don't think it's going to be a big announcement. I think we're now developing games in the cloud, and this is where it's going to go.
Good shout. Good shout. I think it'd be healthy as well, because obviously they've grown their numbers of people that are using cloud, relatively quickly in line with their subscriber base. So I think from that perspective, it would be good to maybe even allocate a small segment just to show the vision of what they're actually working towards and what they believe is possible with cloud technology.
Yeah, I think it would be absolutely class to see where they're going to go with that, because we know Xbox is really, really focused in that end of things. They're fighting off Amazon and they're fighting off Google in that regard to actually get the leg up in the cloud tech. And yeah, it's really, really good to see that they're going to be doing that. And again, it's exciting, and it's next week is the start of the fun. We're going to get game announcements all over the place, and I'm hoping to see logos for cloud services all about there. It's because we just want as many out there as possible.
Yeah, that's the big thing that we need to see in the next few weeks is confirmation, that stuff is coming to the cloud early doors when they're showcasing stuff. Yes, it's coming out. It's going to be available on platform X, Y, and Z. Bang. There you go. Nice and easy.
Yes, nice, easy, and straight to the point. Okay. Fall Guys again. I played Fall Guys when it came out. I can't wait to actually get back into Fall Guys. I played it when it came out on PlayStation. I played it for a while. I'm going to bare my soul here and say I haven't actually got a win on Fall Guys yet. I should have won about 5 or 6 times, and the worst one I actually did was, do you know that in the last stage when you have to go and just grab the thing to win? I missed my jump.
That, in fairness, that sounds just like you, though. Having played a number of games with you that involve jumping and platforms, you've got a tendency to fall off and miss your jump. So it does make sense.
Yes, I can do the easy jumps. Or sorry, I can do the hard jumps, but I can't do the easy jumps. So yeah, it's fun. And Fall Guys is an absolute blast to play. Oh, speaking of, since we were talking about PlayStation there, did you know that the biggest cloud platform in the UK is PlayStation Now?
That's do you know what? There's an element to me that says that doesn't surprise me, and I know that sounds like a bit of but I'm not. I feel like I should be shocked by that, but I'm not as shocked by it at the same time. It does seem logical. I can see the reason for that as well.
It came out by Ofcom. Ofcom is official. This isn't just somebody picking stats out from the air and guessing that something has happened. This is actual hard facts, and it's this key paragraph here. There are 2.1 million people in the UK are subscribing to cloud gaming services. That is just in the UK. That isn't worldwide. That's just over here in the UK. And Eddie, I've seen your comment. We're going to come on to that. Because I know people might be worried that it's going to be lots of UK sort of stuff, because that's where we're from, but it's not going to be. But this is just saying PlayStation Now is number one. What is interesting is that there's about 800,000 people are either playing Geforce Now or Google Stadia. I thought, I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that would have been a lot higher. And I would also say that there's probably a lot of crossover there as well. And then stats.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting breakdown, isn't it? That's, and as you say, attributing just short of 1 million there to when you add in GeForce Now and Stadia, I think maybe goes to show, whilst we probably think or hope that it's higher than that, it just goes to show that those main household names not saying NVIDIA aren't, but in terms of, you know, your Xbox, your Sony, that, you know, they're still finding a way to, you know, to pull something off in terms of stats in that sense.
Yeah, it's just absolutely class. We've actually just got some hard facts out there, and it's just very, very interesting. Because I know when we were on CGX Cast, or when I was on CGX Cast a couple of weeks ago, I got a lot of flack saying PlayStation would be higher than other places, and that's me saying I told you so. I'd say I do sometimes know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just real good to actually have some figures here. I to be honest with you, I thought Xbox would be in top. I thought Xbox would be top just because of Game Pass and that having that element built into it. But it's PlayStation now.
I think though, if you consider, like, if you are very much in that PlayStation ecosystem, you know, PS Plus, PS Now, if you're still in that era where you've got a PS4 Pro, you know, or something like that, you've obviously got the DualShock controller, which means that PlayStation Now on PC is an option for you, which then kind of, because obviously if you're, you know, unless you've got DualShock 4, you can't play PlayStation Now on PC because it's up until that point. So if you've got any, you know, if you've got a DualSense, you can't do it at the moment. So I guess that does speak to, with maybe some of the shortages in PS5, large percentage of users are still using PS4 Pro potentially, or in and around that era.
You can use other controllers in PC now, just to correct.
Can you now?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
I stand corrected. I do apologise.
Yes. So yeah, but I'm just really interested to see how much that's actually going to grow now with the new PlayStation tiers, which we know which are rolling out right now. That it's because they've got some compelling games on there, and we know that the rollout starts. It's already started in Asia, and it's going to be coming to the US next week. Is it, or over the next
13th?
Yes,
13th for the US, I think. Yeah, and then 21st for the UK.
Yeah. So yeah, Abby, just will CGX be 100% based in the UK, or will there be people from other countries? We can say this very nice and quickly. There is someone, Maker Chaos is going to be with us still. He is based in the US, so he will be putting some stuff out there. So he's out there and I'm hoping to grab some other people as well, because we are trying to make this as rounded as possible, and we do need some people out in the US for Luna and things like that, and to try out the US services.
Yes, absolutely, of course. Can't be missing any of them out, can we? We've got to catch them all.
Yep, exactly. Golden Sun, he was backing it, or they were backing it, and decided that would feel so I could do the preset PC Kickstarter. Always good to have choices. Warlock, thank you very much. You're a legend. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's good to see you here. Should I just mix things up a wee bit here? Should we do a wee announcement?
Go on then, let's do it.
Yep, let's do it here. As a bit of a thing, since we are taking over this fine channel, we're going to, it's a one-off at the moment. We're going to bring back something what we used to do all the time on Cloudy. We're bringing it back for this Sunday only. We are bringing back a grid play along on Stadia this Sunday. So we're trying to get as many people as possible to come in there, and we'll try and get our 40 car limit hit on Sunday on Stadia. So a bit of carnage there. So it's again one-off sort of thing, just because we did stop doing Stadia stuff, but I'm telling you now, one of the biggest things we actually really enjoyed was holding events like this with bringing people in for Grid, the Formula One weekend. For people who don't know, we actually held a all-Clyde Formula One race weekend where it was full on qualifying one day and full race distance the next day. And that was absolute chaos, but absolutely great fun. And we're hoping to bring these sort of events to Clyde Gaming Extreme as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a thing that we've got a huge passion for, is being able to game with people and kind of put events like that on. So definitely, we'll be seeing kind of things of those variety, coming to the channel, which is good. And if you are familiar with our Grid play-alongs, I just want to put it out there and confirm that Mean One Kelly will be racing. So if you've ever been in there and you've been in a race with Mean One Kelly, you know exactly what that means. And she's definitely going to be there to join us and keep us on our toes as we tiptoe around the track. You're on mute.
And the thing is, I don't even need to mute myself anymore, but I still do it. So if anybody wants to join, we will be posting the link up in the next shortly, and it is going to be a full-on carnage play along, and you don't need to be a good driver. All abilities are respected, and you can come and join. But if you're looking at clean fair race, the chances are you're not going to get it. But it just ends in absolute chaos. And again, we're just trying to bring these sort of things as well down the line. If this goes well, we'll see what else we can do further down the line. And if you've got any suggestions of things that you want to see down the line, just let us know, because we actually do like hosting these sort of events.
Yeah, absolutely. And and we do take on board kind of those feedbacks if there's absolutely something that we can do, if there's a way that we can make something happen, then between us we'll put our heads together and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we try and bring everybody along with us, and we hope that you will come and join us. Colm, we'll come to your question in a wee second. I'll let Barry answer that one. I'm going to put you on this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say is in the coming months, we're actually starting planning it shortly. Clyde Gaming Awards will be on Clyde Gaming Extreme, where we go through games of the year, platforms, good use of technology, and things like that. So if you want, it's something to look forward to, because we really, really do enjoy putting these big Clyde-based events on. And we are going to be Clyde Gaming Extreme, so we're going to try and put some extreme stuff on. And that plan, which we had a couple of weeks or months ago, we are going to do it. We are going to do a race, maybe a race weekend purely in Clyde, or something along them lines. We are going to try and do like some real crazy sort of stuff here and push Clyde Gaming to the absolute limits out there.
Yeah, that's what we like. That's what we like. Full race weekends, everything. Just throw the kitchen sink at it. Let's do it all.
Let me see. Hi. Can you say that? You know what I'm.
Assassi 007.
Assassi 007. Thank you for joining. Golden Sun, I got 2 wins, so you're much better at the game than me. For people who were wanting or following the Johnny Depp channel, spoilers, Johnny Depp won. So there we go.
I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I'm gonna go. Woohoo!
Yeah. Zero, thank you for joining. Colm, absolute pleasure to have you here as well. And Zero says Kelly's a good driver. Yeah.
Well, I'm not disputing it. I'm not disputing it.
Yeah. Is Geforce now better? I sort of Geforce now runs well and smooth, better than other PC clouds. Okay. For me, GFN, if you're on the 3080 tier, is the gold standard in cloud gaming at this moment in time. If the game is in their library, I don't think you can go much better than that. You can go for Shadow and other virtual PCs in the cloud, and you'll have more full of a library, but I don't think the performance is as good as that. So that's my opinion on it. What about you?
I mean, I absolutely, I have to kind of concur, in that respect. I think from a technical perspective, if we look at the technology that's in place and the infrastructure in what they've done in improving latency whilst giving improved game performance, I don't think there's any question that if the game's available on the service, chances are it's going to run better on GeForce Now than it is elsewhere. I think the prime example that we've been talking about recently is God of War. We've both got PS5s. We've both played God of War. You've played it PS4, PS5. I've played it PS5, and we both remarked that it looks better on the 3080 in the cloud than it does playing it natively on the PS5. So I think there's certainly legs to that, but it does come with that price tag. But if that's what you want, if you want that absolute maximum in performance that you can eke out, then absolutely. I think by the time you start throwing in 4K on PC, 4K on Mac, it's never been easier to PC game on a Mac, I don't think. Your 120 FPS across your platforms, even in mobile device as well. It's got a really compelling offer, and the technology backs it, which is good. But again, it's about the library, which is growing at a good rate. They can't have every game, and I have to say that I think the team at GeForce Now would absolutely love every single possible game on there, but it's one of those things.
Yeah, it is indeed. There is no perfect cloud gaming service out there. Every single one has its pros and its cons, just like PlayStation has its pros and cons, Xbox has its pros and cons, every single one, and that's just that's a good thing, and that is a bad thing, because it's you want some things on one platform and some things on another platform, and none of if you could just wrap them all in together and get the good bits from all of them, you would have the perfect cloud gaming platform.
You would just bang all their heads together and go, you know what, just do one thing. Yes. Forget competition, just work together.
Yeah, speaking of which, I'll just do this while I remember. If you've got a Prime subscription, just since we were talking about GFN, go to Prime Gaming and claim Far Cry 4. As soon as you claim it, it's in your library. You do not have to do anything else because it links up straight to your Ubisoft account. So within 3 clicks, you're in there playing Far Cry 4 on GFN if you are looking for that. And we'll do the quotes. It's free with Prime. It's also on Luna this month as well as part of the Prime rotation, but you've got options there, so it's really good to have.
And that's what we want, isn't it? Options,
and more options. Yes, Calm. I'm a patron of Friday. I need to change my membership. I'm going to speak for probably myself and Barry. Cloudy is still going to exist. We're not sure how it's going to exist in the future. Myself and Barry will be spending, I would say, 99.9% of our time over here on Cloud Gaming Stream from our next Sunday.
Yes, yeah.
But bar next Sunday, where we will be back at Cloudy to do the Xbox conference. We're not going to announce what's going to happen with Cloudy because we're not 100% sure, but for us, we're going to be primarily here, or we're going to be here basically. We'll be occasionally leading appearances over So yeah, if you want to support us, that is really, really appreciated, and it does really help.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's the fairest thing to say is, you know, in looking at, yes, everything's fresh, everything's new. We're kind of, you know, we're doing a lot of planning and you know, and a lot of things. But as you've just said, a lot of the focus is, rightly so, is going to be here at Cloud Gaming Extreme. So I think it's the right thing to do to sort of say, well, actually, do you know what? If it's us that you want to come and watch for the content that we do and kind of the sort of, I guess, the people that we are, and you know, that you've kind of grown with on Cloudy, then we'll definitely be spending more time here. But there's a lot of thought to go into exactly what happens with Cloudy. And he's done it again.
Cody was our baby, and yeah, we're very reluctant to say bye and stuff like that. But the opportunity is here. So again, we're just not 100% sure what is going on with it. But we're just going to be snowed under for the next couple of weeks here, just getting our head around everything and what we need to do. If the game's on GFN, it's better, but it is a limited library. You have to make sure the game that is the one of the problems you do have with GFN. The GFN will never have all the games in the library, and one thing we do have to say with the cloud-based PCs as well, they don't have all the games in their library either, because some of the game providers actually block them. So you can't actually get the Shadow's got a couple again, but you've got a far bigger selection there. But yeah, GFN has that problem, but I think they are getting more and more on top of it and getting most of the big games there, and it's really, really great to see. And the snowball's continuing, and they're still missing games. We'll be honest with it. I want Vampire Survivors on it, and it's not on it, and because that is the best game of the moment. But you go through the Steam library, the most popular games. The chances are the most popular games are on GFN, bar some notable exceptions.
There we go. Very well said.
Kelly says she's a great driver. We'll move on.
Is that great driver like, as in like Rain Man, great driver? Because he thinks he's an excellent driver, but you know, I'm not sure that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. In terms of GPR, hardware performance, streaming quality to Shadow PC and Stadia, I think I've just missed some bits and bobs with that. I agree. If you want to pay for GFN's 3080 tier, is the gold standard. Nothing else gets close to the. You go 1440, 120. Just so people know, if they're not aware, I do not do 120 FPS because I don't want to make the jump up to 120 FPS. The jump between 30 and 60 is so noticeable for me. I don't want to have a 60 to 120 where I want to have everything in 120 FPS, because it will break me if I go for that.
That's me moaning about it, isn't it? Because I kind of, whenever I'm playing kind of Cloud and GFN on my PC, I am running 1440, 120 most of the time. And then when I come to play on my Shield, I'm 4K 60, and I'm like, I want 120.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you go when you jump up and you actually see the differences in the frame rates, it's really, really hard to go back. And I'm trying to resist for as long as possible to not make that jump up to 120 FPS, because I know that once I see it, I will be able to not see it.
I'm surprised you've resisted this long, to be honest. You've done extraordinarily well. I thought you would have caved by this point, but
no, I'm trying not to. I'll let you do the 120 FPS stuff because I just could not deal with that.
Fair enough.
And at the opposite end of the scale, the state of free 1080 60 service and being able to, yeah, it's always good to have options.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the 1080p bit rate and the quality that 1080 60 runs at, on across the different services, I think that's important as well. And as you said, options. That's the main thing that you want. And I think it tailors to the type of gamer, the type of individual you are. That there are people that, quite frankly, just want to play a game. You're not really bothered about kind of textures and detail and kind of how well it performs. You actually just want to sit down and play the game. And that's the nice thing about in the cloud. You can kind of get a variance in bit rates and performance, even across 1080, which is good.
And I just realized my flipping camera was too dark. I've had the wrong setting set on it. Okay. I found every night before I go to bed, I pray to the cloud gaming gods that Game Pass gets released on GFN. The Holy Grail will be unleashed. I think that's one of the. I think that's one of the announcements. I think we're going to get Game Pass is going to Steam.
Do you know what? I feel like, particularly, I know me and you have spoken about this for what feels like an age, in the fact that it would be a possibility, or it could be a possibility, should be a possibility. It makes good business sense, all of that sort of stuff. And do you know what? I really hope to see it happen, because that'll be amazing.
Let's go down Speculation Alley.
Oh, I haven't been down there for a while.
Yep. Do you think it will work how EA Play sort of works on Steam?
I think it would have to, wouldn't it? It would have to be. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I think when you would look at, when you kind of look at sidestepping and debunking the myth that Game Pass is bad for devs and bad for games and people don't spend money and all that sort of stuff, when you break all of those barriers down and kind of get past that, and you actually hear people saying, well, actually game sales increase when it goes on Game Pass, or this, that, and the other. I would say it's got to be structured similar or close to how they do EA on Steam, for sure.
Yeah, and then we're getting to the murky field of not every single game on Game Pass, if it was to go there, will be tick for cloud gaming, and then we would have to be looking, will the tick box be then removed from cloud? It's going to be fascinating if it happens. I really hope it does, just to see what will go down. I'm just all the music coming out from Microsoft and out from Valve, it does just seem that it is going to happen. Especially, I don't want to talk too much about the Steam Deck, especially with the relationship there, which seems to have been developing over with the Steam Deck as well. I think it's just bound to happen, and I'm probably going to be wrong. Cloud Validation, thank you very much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it, and it does mean a lot to us. If GFM made a shadow PC equivalent for a more monthly fee, they'll dominate. They already have the tech, just need the payment model. Okay, I'm gonna touch on this. We for people that don't know who are new to us, we do have a podcast. Spoilers, there's no podcast tomorrow, but just because there's just too much going on, we just feel a bit overwhelmed and such like, and Barry's disappearing, but we'll mention that part.
I always get stick for that.
What people may not know, GFN are creating what's called the Omniverse or Metaverse sort of thing. They have already started releasing some sort of tools out there where people can actually access this in a Blender and all that sort of stuff to actually do some creating using the GFN tech. They don't actually push it to GFN because they're trying to separate it out. If I'm a betting man, which I'm not, I would not be surprised if we see some of the applications like Blender and maybe some of the media ones like Premiere Pro and stuff like that end up on GFN in some way. So it's something to keep an eye on for. If you go onto or NVIDIA's website and read about the Omniverse, there's so much actually going on there. NVIDIA are really, really committed to the cloud, and they are just going about it in really, really interesting ways. Again, one of the things we've talked about before is NVIDIA have partnered with Google, with Google Cloud for VR in the cloud. And they are working on that as well. So it's just absolutely exciting, Matt.
Yeah, it is. There's you feel like there's almost NVIDIA in general. You kind of almost feel like there's endless possibilities there, and they don't, they're not ready to stop. But at the same time, from a gaming perspective, we're all looking at them thinking, well, actually, do you know what? What the hell are they going to do next?
Yes, it's NVIDIA are invested in the cloud 100%, and GFN is central to their plans going forward, and it's talked about at each of their shows. We know that Immersive Stream and Stadia are in there with Google as well, and xCloud is vital for Microsoft and Xbox and Amazon with Luna and things like that. It's just exciting to see where it's going. Yes, the pace has slowed down. It's went slower than I wanted to go, but there's just so many big possibilities which are coming real soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There definitely is.
Yeah. Geek the Sneak, thanks for joining us. But maybe intellectually don't want to compete with home PCs, so they keep so. I think Marchief talked about this before. This is one of Marchief's big points. He thinks, and I'm actually reading into this as well. The reason why GFN is so important to NVIDIA, it's because they want people to actually try the 3080s and go, I want that for my PC. So you get hooked into the NVIDIA ecosystem. So that's where you want to do it. So yeah, I think there's a bit of that in that.
I can certainly subscribe to that theory. I mean, I can understand, they maybe not necessarily want to physically reduce sales, but at a time when there is stuff that's a shortage, you push technology, you make the technology available in the cloud, then as you say, yeah, you end up at that point where you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I want an NVIDIA GPU. I have to hold my hand up. I was guilty of that. My PC build that I did, I had an AMD card in my in my PC build, and that rapidly got to a point where very quickly the NVIDIA the AMD card came out, and a 30 series GPU has gone into my PC.
Yeah,
not a 3080, I must add, but still, it's a 30 series GPU.
Yeah. See, we're going to be trying to we're trying to keep this on format as well, so we're going to try and get this over in around an hour. So, flying through this, Ray, those options. Will you venture into rebooting the podcast? If we're talking about the CGX podcast, it has already been rebooted. It has been rebooted, and it is called
Cloudwalkers.
Cloudwalkers.
Which first episode premiered last night.
Yeah, and I will drop.
Duncan's just getting you the link so he can drop it in the chat.
Yes, you knew exactly what I was doing there.
I knew exactly what you were doing. Yeah, I did indeed.
Hellwalkers. I'm making up names here, aren't I?
It's a mishmash of it all.
Yes, so that probably answers the next question, which we can see in the list there. Cloudwalkers is myself, Barry, Maker of Chaos, Lee are Rito Baggins of Stadia Source and Dan of Stadia Source and Hellmonkey, unfortunately, as well. So it's us talking about it. We did a pilot episode there, which was released. I've put the link in there, and it's recapping all the news up until or what day would it be, Jared? Monday.
Yeah, we did it. We did it Monday night, so it would have been ish. Yeah.
Up to Monday night, where we go through everything over the last month, and it's going to be every 2 weeks on that channel. So if you enjoy CGX Cast, you can venture there to find that out. For me, it has to be between 90 to 120 FPS and 1440p. GFN has spoiled me too much, and I can't see. That's why I do not want to do it.
Let's. I feel like you have to experience it, though.
Yeah.
I really do.
What exactly is the priority tier? 1080? It's not 1080, you know. Oh, that's right.
They've changed it. They've moved when they brought the 3080 tier in. They've put the 2060 supers, 2070 supers. Yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, but you don't get access to ray tracing, and it's capped at 1080p.
Yeah, capped at 1080 60, and you've got a maximum of a 6-hour game session on the priority tier.
Yeah, the game session is 6 hours long. That doesn't mean you've got 6 hours over the whole week, day, or month. As soon as you quit the game and go back into it, that 6 hours starts up again. So there's been confusion over that. It's basically you can't game for 6 hours straight.
And you hit that recently, didn't you? In fact, am I right in thinking you did the 8 hours because you got the 3080?
No comment. And the worst about it is, one of the games that had the limit was an idle clicker. But we don't go into there. Thank you, Warlock. Thank you very much. Will we get more silly takes from Duncan? Question for Barry. I think
that's a given, surely, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't almost feel like that was a rhetorical question.
Exactly. And all of these top 5 tech companies are all going to collaborate together for the future of the cloud world. They really need each other in so many ways. Yes, we already see that. There will be some things which won't be shared, but in other ways there will be. It's fascinating. Their competition is good, and I actually like what's going on there. Bit of collabing is all great, but we want the competition as well.
Yeah, I think you need the competition, don't you? Because at the end, ultimately, we're sat here today because of competition. If regardless of how far you go back, gaming, cloud gaming, this is we're in this position that we're in today purely because of competition. They've driven each other. We've seen people fall by the wayside, people surge, all that sort of stuff, and it's driven by competition. So it's a good thing.
I assume you guys cover next week, Thursday. Yes, the podcast will be, the GFM on will be back next Thursday. We just said there's just too much going on where we're just trying to get all the things all tidied up. So yeah, GFM on will be next Thursday.
We will have a news video out for Geforce Now tomorrow, though, of course.
Yeah. Is GFN recognized as a GFN ambassador? Yes, I think we are. We don't really push that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's the fairest way to to talk about it. I think we've got a good relationship with the GFN team, and I think that's the way we tend to kind of look at it in that respect. Is we've got a solid relationship there to be able to be in a position to kind of talk confidently and about the service and the features and the things that they're doing, when the time comes that they're ready to sort of release that stuff to the public.
Yeah, because I know some people like they're saying they're GFN ambassadors and stuff as well. we just like talking about. We can't say that, but we don't really want. It's not like we don't want. It's not like we're hiding it or anything.
Yeah, I don't think we identify in that fashion, do we? I think it is
Yeah.
probably the the best thing. We appreciate being able to have that connect and kind of.
Oh. Yeah. We'll work something out. Again, our heads are melted at the moment with what's all going on. We decided we're going to be doing a format for Summer Games Fest, where we're going to be doing like wee recaps of what the main the cloud announcements are. So you can check that out. We've already done that. Any live shows for this year anyway are going to be on Cloudy, just until we get things all tidied up there. So Cloudy will be doing any live shows if you want live reactions. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Mr. Graham says, hi, and thank you very much. So, to recap, we will be doing these Q&As on a regular basis. We won't be next week, Summer Game Fest, or... Which, yes, we knew about it, but it's just a bit of fun. We have our membership here if you're interested. It's really, really appreciated if you do that. We will be doing a podcast of sorts in the coming weeks where members get that before anybody else. If you want to know, it's going to be, we're going to take a gaming topic, talk about it for about half an hour, quarters of an hour, and then members get that first, and then it gets pushed to everybody else after. We're going to be doing some giveaways and stuff away for members and all that sort of carry on. So just keep an eye out for that, and if you're interested, you can do that. But is there anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, I think what we've survived our first Q&A, and in true fashion, we've targeted an hour, and we've gone over the hour just, which again I guess is for those that may be slightly less familiar with our faces. When the two of us tend to get together to kind of have a conversation on a particular topic or even a Q&A, the two of us could be there for bloody ages. It's almost, and I think the best thing to say as well, and we were talking about this recently, is a lot of the conversations you see between Duncan and myself when we are talking on Q&As like this, when we're doing GFN on, doesn't really matter when, if we're talking about gaming, it's pretty much an insight into some of the conversations that we have are offline, and not when we've hit live. It's just like a window into some of the conversations that go on.
Yes, and I have to remember to stop muting myself. Yes, it's we what you see here is what we're like offer as well, and that's why sometimes I'll say my views may come off a bit more harsh, is because I don't hide away. I don't say one thing and not mean it, sort of thing. I say what
I hope you're not talking about me there. That's all I'm saying.
I am talking about you.
Because I do not hide my feelings.
Yes. Sometimes I need to maybe word things slightly better, but yes. But what you see is what you get with me, unfortunately, for the good and the bad.
Yes. There you go. See, Ruben knows. You don't filter.
Yes. It's the Northern Ireland in me, and I think I think sometimes cultural things are a bit lost at times, and I think we all need to do that, myself included. So there's a learning up thing at the end. But I just want to thank everybody for joining, and we will see you soon. And I hope you all have a great time. So we'll see you all again soon.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.